on this computer. Cool. Okay, so we're recording and we're ready to go. So big welcome. I don't think Daniel was on last week, so I've put him back on here for this week, and I don't think he's on yet either. But Daniel, welcome to you for a second time. It's good to have you here in the team. And then we must be all on school holidays, having a nice little downtime, you know, in our winter break, which is cool because we've got only a small amount of recognition this week. So a big congratulations goes out to Janae, Maria, Christine. I think all three of you are on the call right now. Jordan S., myself, and Sione Naomi for all bringing in a customer in the past week. Well done. It's been, you know, it's a tricky time. A lot of people are on holiday and are away. So, you know, good on you for keeping on with your business. It's really, really awesome. We are going to get right into it tonight because we've got a lot to get through. I can see that Sharon is online here. So Sharon, just if you want to start getting yourself ready and your slides ready, I will briefly go through our announcements for the week, and then I'm going to hand the time over to Sharon. She's going to be doing our product training tonight. So if you've got a pen and paper handy, or if you've got your calendar open, the things that you need to write down at the moment are Wednesday night, this Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Our opportunity call is with Charlotte and Madeline, who are both in Australia, and it is focused on chiropractors, where they'll be talking obviously about NRF2 activation, and it might be a product focus to begin with, but then they're going to have a lot of different chiropractors sharing their stories and their experiences of using the products, and I'm guessing the experiences that they've seen in their patients and clients who have also been using the products. So it's going to be a really good night for anybody that you know who maybe isn't even just a chiropractor. It would probably be good for anybody who works in the nutrition or health space like that, any sort of health professionals, to get them online to that webinar. So that's on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. There's nothing else that I know of that's coming up in this week. Level Up Leaders, is there anything that I've missed in terms of announcements? I don't think there's anything else, hey? It's been a quiet week. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to hand the time right over to Sharon. Sharon, I'm going to I think I've made it so that you can share your screen. So what I'll do is stop sharing so that you can share yours.
Cool, thanks, hon. I'll be straight up. I don't have slides for you tonight because I was, let's just say it's husband's birthday today, and I've been deep in pork belly and sage and garlic and this awesome carrot and walnut cake for most of the day. So you've just got me, and I'm going to be talking about the ProBio. Now, I'm going to just go from the beginning. Now, probiotics, as we know, live in our gut, predominantly in our large intestine. You do have some in your small intestine, but you don't want to have too much in there. As a health coach, one of the things that really got me excited about this when I was first looking at LifeVantage was the different number of strains that are in the probiotic. Now, I got excited because it's a time-release capsule. Most probiotics that are on the market nowadays do not make it past the stomach acid. They might say they've got 30 billion squillion colony-forming units, CFUs, but you've got no idea as to how much actually gets through to your small and large intestine, which is where you actually need them. So bigger, when you're looking at a probiotic, is not always better. The ProBio gives you 6 billion colony-forming units directly into your small and large intestine. It's got 5 different strains of probiotic in it, which was very exciting. Your Lactobacillus and your Bifidobacterium, which is your 2 foundational gut bacteria strains, and also something called Saccharomyces, which is what, as Vicky knows, I got really excited about. Saccharomyces is a really great probiotic, especially when you've got upset tummy. So overall, as a probiotic, this is pretty amazing. So not only does it deliver those bacteria straight into your intestine through the time-release capsule, it's restoring the healthy bacteria. So it's changing the balance between healthy and unhealthy. It's supporting your optimal digestion. And by doing that, what it does is it helps you assimilate nutrients. So that's the beautiful thing about this. So if you're ever thinking about taking a probiotic, just think of 6 billion CFUs, 5 different strains. So you're building up a really healthy level of probiotic bacteria in your gut, which will help you optimal digestion. All I can say is, for me personally, taking this, we're in lockdown again here in Melbourne, yay us. Using this along with my NRF1 and NRF2, I've not been eating particularly well, but I haven't put on any weight. What can I say? Probiotics, healthy digestion, things working smoothly. What more could you ask for?
Awesome.
Yay.
Thanks, Sharon. I'm a bit jealous of that.
Oh, they're
Can
not
I
putting any
ask a
weight on.
question?
Yeah, of course you can, Vicky.
I just wondered, you know, it says on the thing about beta glucan on the probiotic. Can you explain what that means?
Beta-glucan is, it's a product taken from yeast. And from that yeast, the bacteria comes from that yeast.
Great, thanks. So that helps our immunity, or it's just that's where the bacteria comes from?
Well, it all benefits your immunity, yes. So there are some products on the market which do have beta-glucan in them. It is an immunity booster. The strain they've got in here is a probiotic strain, the Cerevisiae. Oh, brain's just gone dead. Sorry, I'll think of it in a minute.
That's okay. Hey, also, what about dosage? Like it says take 2. Do you take that daily or 1 a day? What are your recommendations for anyone who just wants to maintain health? Or if you've got...
It's 1 capsule daily before meals. If you've been on a round of antibiotics, always take the full course of antibiotics before you stop. Don't get halfway through and think I feel great and then stop. You should always take the full course of antibiotics if you're given any. Once you've finished your antibiotics, then I would take probably at least 2 of these a day to rebuild the good bacteria in your gut. 1 of these a day is a good healthy maintenance dose. Depending on how long you've been on antibiotics and what type of antibiotics, I would certainly take 2, potentially 4. Depending on the length of time.
And 1 at each end of the day, or does it not matter?
I would take 1 at each end of the day just because I like having that separation. It gives you, 6 to 12 hours for the first one to do its thing, and then again at night time while you're in rest and restore mode.
Great. Someone's asked too, can children take them?
I give them to my kids, and they're 18, 20 months and 4. But I just mix it in a little bit of yogurt, just not all the time, like maybe once a week. But then if they're, I can tell they're getting a cold or whatever, I'll give it to them once a day. But I always
just pull the capsules apart. Yeah. If your kids are getting, that green, snotty, they're doing that thing at kinder or school or whatever, then certainly, I'd give them a little bit of it. Also, too, if they get eczema or anything like that, that's a gut health thing. So that's probably a good idea. Yeah, actually, Naomi just said that.
Is there any benefit to taking, sorry, Sharon, I'm jumping the question.
Right. No, go.
Is there any benefit of taking them like twice a day for just a normal person that's not on antibiotics?
Not really. No. So I only take 1 of these a day, usually in the morning, first thing on an empty stomach. 6 to 10 to 12 CFUs is a good dose. Given that these, because of the time release capsule, I think it takes 50 odd minutes before it dissolves. So it's well and truly down into your intestines. So that every single billion bacteria is getting in there, you wouldn't really need more than one a day if it was just a normal dose, and you're fine.
Cool, thank you.
If you were starting off with something like eczema, or you have had gastrointestinal issues, then potentially I'd look at taking more than one.
Someone else has asked, or Liz here has asked, does it contain gluten?
No, I believe it's gluten-free. As far as I know. Put this way, I'm quite gluten intolerant and I've had no issues taking it. If you were celiac, then I'd probably go and double check it, but I believe it is gluten-free.
Cool.
Awesome.
Hey,
Thanks.
Sharon, can you, because I know there's been a lot of chatter within our team over the past couple of weeks of customers who are experiencing quite heavy detox symptoms from using NRF2. So like, let's say somebody's taking NRF2 and they've got like loose stool, diarrhea, and they've had it for more than a couple of weeks. How would you, can you give everybody, I guess, a couple of phrases or ways that they can introduce the probiotic to their customer as a way of helping them to deal with the tummy issues that are coming from the detox?
I would look at what else is going on. If it's purely a detox reaction, then I would look at, well, firstly, if it was my customer, I'd look at when they're taking it and how they're taking it, and whether or not splitting it into two would work better. I'd probably, depending on the customer, take them through that. And then I would suggest that, you know, if they really wanted to get into the Protandim quickly, and they don't want to wait around for the detox to pass eventually, then I'd suggest they take the probiotic with the NRF2 for a month and see how that changes things. Certainly look at it for 1 to 2 weeks, see if there's any change. I've actually had a client of mine, I met her today, she's actually gone, she has diverticulitis, she's actually gone from having very watery stools to, since starting on the NRF2, they've formed up. So she's actually now having formed stools from the watery. So it's going the other way.
Opposite way. Yeah, interesting how it's
way.
Different for every person.
Huh? Yeah, so it's different. So I would just offer it and say, look, there are various ways we can help you through this detox period. One of the ways you can do it is to start using the probiotic, give it a month in line with the Protandim, and just that will help your body move the toxins through faster and more efficiently, and then go from there.
Awesome. Thanks,
yeah,
Sharon.
As Vicky says, the body always wants to be in balance, definitely.
Yes. Yeah, great. And I forgot to mention, sorry, before I introduce Sharon, that she has just graduated as an integrative health coach. So big congratulations to Sharon. It's awesome and so exciting that we have a specialist in our team that we can utilize for questions like this. It's really awesome.
Andrea, I just see you asked a question there. I take this one every day. I've just found that overall, by doing that, my body just works a lot better. It feels, I don't know how open I should get on this, but it just feels like the evacuation is much cleaner and easier, and that everything just seems to be working more efficiently. So no, generally you don't have to. If you've got a lot of fiber in your diet and you're hydrating well and you're not stressing and you're sleeping really well and you're not eating a lot of high processed sugary foods, then possibly not. But given our daily lives is not generally like that, then having one every day just gives your gut that extra boost. And what happens is it then reacts with a lot of the nutrients, like phytonutrients, that you take in, and your body's able to absorb them much better.
I found it's really good for, I've taken probiotics, well, the same probiotics I'm sure as all of you, for a long time, and I just took them because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. But I've noticed a big difference with bloating. Like, I used to not not get bloated, not bloated all the time, but, you know, quite bloated if I would eat bread or just feel like bleh. But it doesn't happen now that I take ProBio every day.
Yeah.
And it used to, and I took probiotics.
Well, this is way better than that brand. And certainly since using this, I used to take a lot of digestive enzymes on the other probiotic. Using this one, I've hardly had to touch the digestive enzymes.
Awesome.
And as I said, I'm gluten intolerant. I'm also peanut intolerant. I also am slightly lactose intolerant. I'm just generally pretty intolerant. But I found with all of that, using the products, much better.
Great. Thank you so much, Sharon. That was really helpful. And this was recorded. So if you didn't catch, you know, little lines and things that you could share with your, you know, with your customers, you can come back and watch the replay. So we really appreciate your time, Sharon. Thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead now and share my screen. We're going to get into some training. So let me just pin my video again. I'm in my study, and my computer doesn't have a camera, but here I am. Okay, so tonight, guys, for our training, we are going to cover an injection at the end, and I'm just going to talk a little, very briefly at the start about the entrepreneur roller coaster, and a little bit about intention and commitment, which is something that someone spoke to me about this around, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year into my business, and I found it really, really helpful. And so I hope it's helpful for you too. So let me just show you what's on this next screen here. So in this business, you can expect to be on a roller coaster. Your team sponsored may have already shown you something that looks like this, or talk to you about the roller coaster that you might go on being in this business. But it really does, at the beginning, it can be some very extreme highs and some really extreme lows. And it takes a while before that sort of evens out into a nice even keel. So here's an example. You might be looking at the business and you might be super nervous, and you know, this might have been you just 2 weeks ago, thinking, gosh, can I even make this business work? I don't know if it's right for me. And then all of a sudden you jump in and you get so excited that you start telling everybody about your business before you've actually done any training. So you've gone from this being really scared to being really excited and really on a massive high. And then a few days later, you might be back down here because you've talked to some friends and they're not actually that excited about your business. They might have said no when you've asked them to come online to your launch or to have a look at what you have. And so then you are, you know, you go from being elated to feeling a little bit deflated and thinking, gosh, is this business right for me? What am I even doing in this business, right? Then you might go through the launch training and do a little bit of, get some understanding around the system and what is actually involved in the business. And so you're feeling excited again and you're ready to go and talk to everyone you know. And then maybe the first person that you invite onto an op call doesn't actually show up. So you're back to feeling low again. And on it goes for, I don't know, how long do you reckon, leaders? At least a year you will be on this massive roller coaster. And I'm not saying that this goes away, because it's not like your problems disappear the longer you, that's right, forever. It's just that the things that you struggle with change, and it might just be you're not jumping from extremes every day. We might have longer periods of elated highs, and then you might have a couple of lows, but you can bounce back very quickly. So please expect this, so if you're here, guys, if you're going through this on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, like, you just, and thinking, I don't know if I'm right for this business, I don't know if this business is right for me, just know that is totally normal. If you have those feelings, then you're in the right place. It means that you are actually doing something and you are moving forward, okay? If you're up here at the beginning and you're just in this really happy bubble, you're probably not taking enough action, because when you are doing the work and taking action, you're going to get these lows, all right? You're going to get people saying no. You're going to have customers that have, experiences that they're not happy with. And so that's all part of learning in this business. And I can see here over in the chat, one of people said that, yes, it happens forever, and you just learn. That's right, you pick back up much quicker. So spying on my thoughts. Yep. And the reason it feels like I'm spying on the thoughts is because this is how everybody feels at the start. Everybody has to go through this. You don't become a Charlotte without going on this roller coaster. But just know that the more you ride it, the more you, it does even out a little bit. Okay. So what is it then that has people stick around? Because some people do this and then they decide, gosh, well, I don't want to do this anymore. And so there are 3 levels. This is something that I learned from a lady called Becky Lawson. I don't know if you girls remember her, but she's an amazing network marketer from Canada. And a few years ago, I had a lunch with her, and she told us about the 3, what she calls the 3 levels of being committed to a network marketing business. And so she says we start out wanting the business. All right, I believe that everybody on the call tonight wants to do this, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here on a Monday night giving up an hour of your time to learn. So we all want it. But then we move to the next level and we make a decision and we decide, okay, yep, I'll do some stuff. I'm going to talk to some people. I'll have a launch party. I'll stick around. I'll see what happens. Okay, so many of us, we're in that decide stage and we stay in that decide stage. Sorry, go to bed and close the door, please. Go out. Goodbye. Yep, take the book. Close the door. Close the door. They didn't close the door. Thanks. Okay, but many of us stay in that decide stage and we don't make that next jump down to being fully committed. Okay, so what commitment is, in her beautiful description, is that come hell or high water, short of death or tragedy, I will do whatever it takes to keep going until my dreams are my reality. Okay, I just think that is, when I heard that for the first time, I was like, wow, do I actually have that level of commitment to my business? Because I think if you take an honest look at your business right now, guys, this is something I have done many times. Ask yourself, am I treating my business like a business, or do I treat my business like a hobby? Have I decided to do it? Yes, but am I actually committed to it like a business? So, do I show up to my business even when I don't feel like it? Do I have business hours that they might not be the same time every day, but do I work my business every day in the same way that you would if you had a job? If you didn't show up for your job, you'd get fired, even if it was a part-time job. So don't fire yourself. Do you show up daily? Are you committed? Do I take responsibility for problems that pop up in my business, or do I blame other people in the company and pass that on to others? Can I motivate myself to keep going in this business, or am I relying on external motivation? Do I need lots of incentives to keep me going, and I'll get fired up when there's an incentive and then do nothing for a while? Okay, this is all stuff, guys, that we've all had to deal with, and definitely I had to confront this for myself. And I can say that, after even a year in my business, I was definitely treating it like a hobby. It was sort of like, I'll do it when it feels right and when I'm in the flow, and then when it gets too hard or when it's a little bit inconvenient, I just won't do it. And so I'm going to give you a little story that really shook me to my core when she talked about intention, and that in this business, having the intention to work your business is not enough. Okay, because if we're honest with ourselves, many of us intend to do things in our business, right? Like, yes, I intend to make those calls, I intend to do blah, blah, blah. But because we haven't really committed, we let some of those things slide when it gets tricky. So let me paint a picture for you. I think this will make it a bit clearer. And I need your interaction here on the chat. So if I said to you, let's take this example. You make a plan to catch up with your girlfriend or guy friend tomorrow at lunchtime at 12 o'clock, and you've decided to catch up for lunch, and you go to get in your car at 11:30 and your car is not working. Like, you can't get it to start. Tell me, do you still go to that lunch? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Liz is going. Okay, Liz, how are you going to get there if your car doesn't start? How are you going to get there, Naomi? Misha's not going to go. Sarah's still going to go.
I'm going to find another way.
Going to find another way to get to lunch. Okay, good. You borrow Sarah's car. Yep. Okay, so most people will still go even though their car's not started. Okay, what about 11:30 rolls around and your baby has just got this if you've got a baby or one of your kids, all that morning your kid is, throwing up, or maybe they've got a fever and they're not well, and then your car doesn't start, do you still go to lunch with your friend that day at lunchtime? Let me know in the chat. Okay, everyone's saying no, cancel. Okay, all right. So then tell me this. Did you intend to go to lunch with your friend? Yes, okay, we intended to go, didn't we? But we didn't. That's the thing, we didn't go. And so that's what we mean when we talk about intention. We say, or when I say intention is not enough, it's because what we're really meaning is I will do that if everything goes according to plan. But we know in life, nothing goes according to plan. It never works out the way that we think it does. So we have to do more or be committed beyond just intention. So let me give you another example. If I said to you, I've got $1 million for you and you can get it from me, but you have to show up at the bank to do the transfer, and it has to be lunchtime tomorrow at 12 o'clock on the dot. You wake up in the morning and your baby's vomiting and they've got a temperature and your car's not starting. Tell me in the chat, do you meet me at the bank at 12 o'clock to get my $1 million? Oh, those answers are coming in hard and fast. Okay, heck yeah. So what are you going to do with your baby, your sick baby? And how are you going to get there if your car doesn't start? Right? You're going to run to the bank? You're going to call a friend? You're going to steal your neighbor's car for half an hour? Yeah, you would do whatever it takes, right? You'd find someone to look after your kid. You would that's right, you would do whatever it takes. So tell me, why then? Why would you go through all of that effort to make it to the bank for lunchtime, but you wouldn't do that for lunch with your friend? What's the difference? The reward is higher, yes. The money, free money. Yeah, I'm committed to the outcome. The reward is greater. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. So when we have intention and our reason or our why is strong enough, that is what gives us the commitment. Okay, because oftentimes we intend to make calls and follow up with people, the intention's there. But if we're not committed to our why and our goals, then we don't do stuff. I think we all know that, right? So what we are saying when I'm saying this intention is that when we talk like that, we're actually saying, I will work my business as long as everything falls into place. And if it doesn't fall into place, if I have a bad week, that's okay. I'll try again next week. Okay, that is not what it's going to take to be able to be successful in this industry. We have to show up every single week and be committed to our business, whether we feel like it or not. Okay, we've got to treat it with that respect. So I'm not saying that it's, again, it's not, I get that sometimes we have time things, we've got school holidays at the moment. It's more about the focus and the way that we show up to do our work. You guys, does that make sense? Yeah. So think of it just like if you started a traditional business, and you took out a huge loan to have this business. There is no way that you would just not show up to work because you didn't feel like it or because you're having a bad week, right? So how do we do that? How do we move our intention from being to be fully committed? First of all, we need to have our why in our face all the time. A lot of you have said it here. We've got to treat it like $1 million, okay? So a couple of tips around that. Get it, if you've got a vision board or you've got a, whatever your goals are, you need to have them visible and in your face every single day. If they're not there, get them there. So put your vision board up by your bedroom mirror. Have your goals written out and put them by your bathroom mirror. Have them sitting, I used to have mine on the, what do you call this thing, the visor, the sun visor in my car. I used to have my vision board as my screensaver on my phone. And I promise you, having it just front of mind, it just really changes how you, it's subtle. It changes how you operate on a daily basis. I remember if Franklin would have been my first baby, he would have been maybe 1. And I'd just started my business and I'd had my vision board. It was on my phone. And I remember one day we was just sitting at home thinking, man, I'm bored. I'm going to go on a walk down the road to the bakery and get a donut. There's this really, really nice cafe down the road that made beautiful caramel cream donuts. And I put them in the pram and I was off on my walk and I looked at my phone. I saw my vision board sitting there. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, is this decision, is this walk to get a donut, is this bringing me closer to my goals or not? And, you know, I didn't have any physical goals on there about losing weight or anything like that. It wasn't about the food itself. It was more about why I was going, because I was bored. Oh, sorry, my phone just rang. But it was also me giving into an impulse, right? Like my instant gratification. I wasn't working my discipline muscle of like, no, I'm not going to do that. I really want to do that, but actually I should focus on things that are more important. I just remember in that moment thinking, oh my gosh, no, I do not need to go for a walk to get a donut. I can do something else with my time. And I've never forgotten that experience just from having my vision board right there on my phone. So put it somewhere where you're going to see it every single day. Now, I can see here that a lot of people are saying treat your business like $1 million and all of that, and that's cool. But I find sometimes that people aren't always motivated by the nice, shiny, cool stuff that it's going to bring them. People sometimes are more motivated by their pain. So sometimes you have to visualize what you're going to miss out on, or the pain of not making this business successful, you know, whatever that looks like. You know, you hear stories all the time of people who come from rags to ruins. They really had no other option. They hit rock bottom, and it was this or nothing. And so sometimes we are a bit too comfortable, and that's on one of my next slides, that the idea of having our dreams is cool, but we're actually pretty okay with what we've got. And so it's not until we really get in touch with the pain of missing out on those things that gets us to take that action and to feel that commitment. Is that making sense? Yeah. What will it cost you to not build your business? Perfect, Sharon. Okay, so get your goals in front of your face. Another tip around this, if you've got kids, is to tell your kids your goals, because they will hold you to account. If you tell them, we're going to go on a trip to Disneyland, or dad is not going to have to work as much anymore, and in 2 years' time, dad's going to be picking you up from school. Oh my gosh, you can bet they're going to remember that, you know. So do what it takes to be accountable to yourself. And then I've got this. Tell people your goals. It is so powerful when you verbalize your goals and you let more than just yourself know what your goals are, because then you have other people who can hold you to account for your goals. A really good example of this is, what's his name? Michael Phelps. You guys remember in 2008, like 10 years ago, when he went to the Beijing Olympics, and about 6 months before the Olympics, he told the world, I'm going to win 8 gold medals at the Olympics. Just think about how audacious that is, to tell the whole world before even got there, I'm going to come home with 8 gold medals. And I just love that intention. He was not coming back from the Olympics without those medals. And so can you imagine on those days where he was tired of eating, I don't know what he eats, boiled chicken and broccoli, and he really just wants takeaways? Do you think he's going to just have takeaways? No, he's going to stick to his meal plan. When he wakes up in the morning and he doesn't feel like going to another day of training, do you think he skipped his day of training? No. Why? Because he told the whole world that he's going to come home with 8 gold medals. So there is real value and power in telling people what your goals are. So please share them with this group, share them with your sponsor, share them with people who are going to hold you accountable for what you want in your life. People who, you know, can see you, is probably see more in you than you can see in yourself right now. Those are the type of people that you need to tell your goals to. And I was really bad at this at first. I used to just, no, I'm going to keep my goals to myself and surprise people. And, you know, and then if I don't hit my goals, it won't matter because I haven't told anybody and I won't be embarrassed. But then I never really pushed myself when it got down to those tricky moments where I really could see what I was made of. I never pushed myself, and it wasn't until I started telling my mentor, Paula, my goals, and she will, you know, really holds me accountable for the person that she can see in me. And it caused me to take actions that I probably wouldn't have taken on my own. So, yep, we've got an accountability group that I'm going to show you in a second that you can join if you need some accountability. But here we go, guys, just to end. When we are on that roller coaster, when we're telling people our goals, when we're really committed to our business and we're taking that action, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Okay, this is part of this business. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's what it's like to run a business. So everything that you have in your life right now is here inside this circle, and it's inside the circle because it's comfortable. That's why we have it. Okay, and everything that we want in life is over here, and the reason it's over here is because we haven't stretched our comfort zone yet to have those things in our life. That's why they're here. And so as we take action, as we're courageous, and as we face fear every day, and we look it in the eye and go, I'm not going to let you control my life, and we take this action, eventually our comfort zone starts to grow and grow and grow, and eventually it starts to encompass parts of our dreams and what we really want in our life. I know when I am taking action that is stretching my comfort zone, because I get that sick feeling in my stomach, those butterflies where I want to vomit, or I get a really hot red face after I've talked to someone. I don't know if you got, these are the symptoms for me. I get butterflies, I feel like being sick, my face goes red, I get sweaty. And I know that I'm right up here against the edge of my comfort zone, but it's good because that's telling me I am growing, right? If I feel good all the time, this is cool, this is cruisy, you're not growing, guys. We're just staying comfortable. And unfortunately, most people don't like that feeling. It scares them too much. And instead of, breaking through, they just stay comfortable. And, we live in New Zealand and Aussie, where most of us, we're not in a third world country. We're living pretty comfortable lives. So if you want the magic, we've got to do those uncomfortable things. Okay. So we've got an accountability group. If you want to be in it, we've said this a million times, but we actually are setting up a group tonight. Then let your sponsor know and they can add you in. There will be some, I'm not going to say requirements, but it is an accountability group. So it's not a group where you can come in and just kind of lurk in the background, but you are going to need to be vocal in there and to, to share your goals with the group and be ready to be active if you want to push. Okay, so that's that. How are we doing for time? I'm going to really quickly now go through one objection. Oh, we're doing pretty good for time. I'm going to go through an objection with you, unless there's any questions about that. Was that helpful? Before we move on. Naomi, your kids, do they tell you to get back in your office? Oh, I use that in Disneyland as a prize. Oh, that's so cool, Vicky. Oh, and did you end up taking your kids to Disneyland? Yeah, you did take them. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, kids, they'll never forget. And you never want to let your kids down, do you? Okay, so let's look at this. Last week, Andrea and Christina and Catherine did some really great role playing around objections. And what we could see is that it would be really helpful for you guys to have a list of questions accessible to you that you could ask when you are following up. So you might want to take a screenshot of this on your phone, or just take a photograph of it and keep it handy. But all of these questions are good for digging a little bit deeper when somebody has an objection, whether that is, I don't have the time. You can say, oh gosh, how does that feel? And how long has that been a problem for you? And do you want to do something about that? I mean, all the questions here. Oh, I don't like sales. Oh, I don't have any money. There's a whole bunch of questions that you can ask from this list that will help to trigger your memory about, gosh, and I find this really helpful as well when someone says, oh, I don't have money or I don't have time, and you think, oh gosh, how am I going to solve that? But actually you just need to ask a few questions to take the heat off you for a second before you build up your case of how you're going to work around that objection. So take a screenshot of this. We are going to do some role plays for anyone who would like to have a go. And I'm going to leave this screen up so that you can see it and use it to practice. So have we got anybody on the call who would like to, oopsie, I'm still sharing that. Have we got anyone on the call who would like to do a role play about money, having a money objection? Let me just bring up feel free to raise your hand and we can unmute you. Okay, and you don't have to do it. I mean, I'm happy to role play the first one, and then we'll have a couple of others who might want to give it a go. But remember, if you're sitting there going with that butterfly feeling like, I don't want to have a practice, this is the most safe place to practice, because you can totally bomb here and we're not a guest, like we're already in the business. So practice on us and get it wrong. It's fine to get it wrong. Okay, awesome. JP wants to have a go.
Yeah, I just unmuted him, I think. Can you unmute yourself, JP?
Yes. And does anyone want to have a go with JP? JP, do you want to be the person who is prospecting? or do you want to be the prospect?
Oh, I'll be the prospect. I've never been a prospect before.
You've never been a prospect before.
No.
Have you made it too easy for Naomi and COD?
No, I haven't actually. They never signed me up.
Oh, jeepers, that's so funny. Okay, well, that's fine. I'll do a little practice with JP, and then while I'm doing this, guys, have a look at these questions, and we'd love 2 other people to come on and have a little practice of doing the objection. So let's work on the objection of I don't have the money. Okay, so let's say you've presented. I presented to you, JP, and we're at the end of the presentation, and I've said, do you see this business working for you? And your objection is, I just don't have any money. Is that cool?
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any money at all.
You've got no money, JP.
I'm getting money from work and income at the moment.
Right. Okay. So I know this is a personal question, but gosh, how does that feel for you, JP?
Well, it's pretty shit when you're only making getting $500 a week.
Yeah.
You pay $350 in rent, and then you got your petrol and try and buy food for 3 kids as well.
Yes. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. So, what's your plan, JP, for changing that for you and your family?
Well, I could get another job, which means more hours, I guess. Secondary tax. I don't know, file bankruptcy.
Yeah. Okay, no, don't do that. Yeah. So as apart from getting your job, which I think is a great short-term solution, that's wonderful. Can you really see this business as a way of being able to help you solve that problem of not having enough money each week or each month?
Yeah, I do. I can see that happening, but like I said, I get.
Oh, you broke up there for a second.
I get like for $500 a week, $350 is rent. But
yeah,
can you hear me?
Yes, you're
I
kind of
can see
breaking
that.
up, but I get the gist of what you're saying, that you're getting money from work and income, and every dollar is accounted for. Is that what you're saying? Are you still there? Is it just me? Can anyone else hear him? Are you still there, JP? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So just to clarify what you were saying, you would really love to do this business, and you see this as a way of helping you to get out of that situation of living paycheck to paycheck. But right now, every dollar that is coming in is accounted for. Is that what you're saying?
He keeps dropping in and out. So
I can't hear you. Okay, I'm just going to imagine that he said yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can still hear you.
I was trying to get a good signal, so
Sorry.
it's all right. That's my bad. My technology can't even count on that anymore.
That's what happens down south.
But like I said, no, I'm only getting $5, so I can see it as investment and money coming in.
Yeah.
Like I said, my problem is I can make $5 a week.
Yes.
$350 is rent and then food and petrol. So I'm not sure where I'm going to get that extra money from.
Sure. So if you okay. So I'll do it. Okay, so I'm just going to take a pause on this conversation here, guys, with the role play, because this is a unique situation with someone who is on the. I'm guessing you're saying someone would be on the benefit. Is that right, JP?
Yeah, or just someone in general struggling.
Yeah, right. So sometimes I would use a story here, but in this situation, I might just say, so if I could show you ways to get creative around coming up with the money to start this business, is that something you'd be open to exploring?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
So if can I ask you another question, JP? Who's somebody that you love the most in your whole
Myself.
Myself. Okay. Someone else besides you that you just love the most in the whole entire world.
Oh, it's obviously close friends, family, mum,
Friends,
dad.
your mum? Okay, let's take your mum. So what if your mum was arrested tonight, let's say, and she was about to be put in jail for, I don't know, for the week, and her bail was $500 because that's what it takes to start this business, $532. Do you think in the next day or so that you would be able to find $532 to bail her out of jail?
I could buy myself, go to Starbucks, buy a coffee and a biscuit and sit in front of the cell and laugh.
You'd take her a cup of coffee and laugh. But you just said that you love your mum more than anybody in the world. So would you be able to find a way to come up with $500 in the next sort of 24 hours if it meant getting your mum out of jail?
Yeah,
Do you think you'd be able to do that?
pretty easy, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what I can hear is that you maybe do have a way of being able to resource and finance the money from somewhere. It's just a matter of sitting down and working out a plan of how we can do that for you to get started in this business. So would you like to sit down and work out some options?
Yeah, what do you think the plan will look like? Because I don't really want to borrow money from other people, then knowing I have to pay it back.
Yeah, so in this case, I would share again more stories. So, okay, well, some people, I know somebody who sold, well, we hear stories about people who sell their items. So they look around their house and they think, what do I own that is of value that I could put on the Facebook marketplace or that I could put on Trade Me and sell in order to make some money to start this business? Other people that I've heard stories of went out and they, mowed people's lawns. They put up an advertisement on their Facebook community page and they went around and did yard work for a month to get the money together that they needed to start this business. How does that sound to you, JP?
Yeah, let's see what we can do. Eh? Do you want to have another chat at some stage? Or
Yeah, so then I would sit down with JP and I'd work out specific strategies for him around where we're going to find the money, because most people, I think, have money. It's just seeing the value in what this is going to bring them. So this is why I think stories really help when we, if this was a more relatable situation for me, if he said, oh gosh, my money's just all allocated at the moment, yada, yada, then I can use the story of, oh, I know how that felt. I totally know how that felt. When I started this business, I had a lot of debt and people didn't know what was going on for us. Things were very stressful. And I was wondering, gosh, where am I going to find this money from? And is this investment even worth it? But what I realized is that if at 34, $500 is going to stress me out, then I am doing something wrong. The path that I'm going down isn't the right one. I need to stop working really hard to make someone else rich and start investing in myself. And this was the first step for me, was putting up the money to start this business. So, are you open to looking at options? And then we go down that track of what can you do? But hey, just a side note, guys, try and stay away from people who are unemployed. Just don't prospect people like that, because I don't know, the other leaders might have other, maybe I shouldn't
I'm probably
say
not
that.
allowed to judge people.
No, I'm not saying don't judge them. I just think it's hard. It's really hard work. And I wouldn't start there. If you're starting a business, I would not be starting with people who are totally unemployed. Okay. Anyone else want to give it a go and have a practice? Come on, guys. You don't have to, but if you're getting the butterflies, it's good.
I'm keen to have a go.
Great,
a try.
Christine. I love it. Okay, so Christine, are you happy to be the prospector?
Sure.
Person asking? Okay, wonderful. And who would like to be the prospect? So you've just got to give the objection. Janae? Okay, great. Off you go. Unmute yourself. Okay, and I'll leave these questions up here for you, Christine.
Are we doing a money objection?
Yeah,
or
we'll do the
is it gonna
same
be
one. Exactly the same one.
Okay, over to you, Janae.
So imagine you're at the end of a presentation and Christine's just said to you, do you want to do this business?
Okay. Well, look, I'm not 100% sure. My money's quite tight and I just don't know if it's really beneficial for me to actually do it. To spend that money on that at the moment.
Sure. How does
how does I guess your financial position right now make you feel?
Well, at the moment, money's quite tight. I'm trying to either goal for myself this year to be debt free, and at the moment, it's kind of out of my ballpark to kind of pay it, within the time frame I've allocated myself.
Sorry, guys, this is really nerve-wracking.
Okay.
I guess I'd say, oh my gosh, sorry.
You're doing really well.
This is how I felt when Tiff asked me to be, and I was just like, dude, I'm just, I wasn't planning for this.
Okay, so I totally forgot what you said. Sorry. So you said
So I have a goal this year by the end of the year to get free, and it's just with what it cost me to purchase and having to purchase that once a month, it's not really in my budget at the moment.
okay. So what, I love that you set some goals. What are some goals that you've set to achieve by the end of the year?
Well, by the end of the year, apart from being debt free, I have a CrossFit competition that I'm representing Queensland for. So I'm, very busy training 5 days a week for it.
Wow, that's awesome. How are you tracking in terms of progress towards those goals?
Yeah, look, I'm doing very well. It's very, it's very intense, and I do get quite tired after, and my sleep's not the best.
Okay, guys, my mic just went blank.
You're doing good.
You're doing really well. You just need to bring her back now to the money, because she's now she's talking about other goals. So you might just say something like, so do you see this business as a way of being helping you to achieve some of those goals?
Okay. So Janae, do you see this business?
Did she purposely cancel out of this training? I'm sure that was an accident as she hit the phone. Okay. Okay, well, we might leave it there. Has this been helpful for you guys, even seeing these questions? She was doing a really good job. Oh, she's come back here. She's come back online. Hey, Christine. Don't worry, you probably just hit the phone. You are muted, though. Let's unmute you. There we go.
Okay. So, Janae, oh wait. Do you want me to repeat the last thing that I said? If I remember what I said. Do you see this working, do you see this business working out for you in terms of helping you to reach your goals?
Yeah, I could see it from paying off debt and things like that. It's eventually. I don't think right now may not be the best for me, but yeah, eventually.
Okay, great. Sorry. What would be a good question to, I guess, ask Janae at this point?
What do you think, everybody? Put some ideas in the chat to help Christine.
I'm very uncomfortable.
It's good. Have you got the sweats and the red face? It's good.
I'm shaking.
Okay, so Vicky suggested something there.
So if I could, sorry, I'm doing this from my phone. It's very...
Oh, she suggested, so if I could show you a way that you could pay off, some debt by utilising this vehicle, would you be interested? That's probably what she's saying. Someone else has suggested, is it just the initial cost that's holding you back, or is it something else? And another suggestion is saying, if I could show you how a friend of mine who was in a similar position got herself into profit in her first 10 days, would you be open to hearing about it?
Yeah, that sounds good.
What Naomi said. And Liz has said, if I could show you a way to make this business work for you and help you achieve those goals, would you be open to hearing about it? Cool. So you guys are all on the same page there with, if I could show you a way.
Yeah. If I could show you a way how this business could work for you and help you reach your goals, would you be interested?
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, if it could work around me, that would sound right.
Awesome. Thank you,
Good job.
Janae.
Good job,
Thanks,
Christine.
guys.
Go and air those sweaty armpits out. Because I know that's where I get so nervous. You did really good. So that's the line exactly. So it's the if I would you. Okay, once you do the story, like if I could show you this, would you then have a look? Naomi has got a story. Yes, absolutely. Unmute and then share that with us because we can all write it down and use it.
And I'm not sure if we've kind of shared part of this before, but sometimes it helps to have like a real story in your back pocket that you can use right in this circumstance. And so the beautiful thing about this team is that we're gathering stories all the time that can really help you in every single kind of objection, every single circumstance that kind of comes up. So we have a wonderful lady in this team, and she actually started with 120 points, and that was all that she could start with. And so that was what, a couple $100, and that was all that she could afford. Or and that's partly, I imagine, would have had something to do with the value that she saw in the business and the belief in, can I get this money back? Can I make this work? Can I actually earn an income from this? And in her first 10 days, she was able to sign up a couple of platinum packs and a customer on over 120 points. And she was, and I can write this out in terms of dollar forms because I think this is really, really helpful to people. And she was able to upgrade to a gold pack, which meant that she got the 40% commission off those enrollments. And so then she was in profit. So like a gold pack is 1,000 and what is it, 55? Something like that. And so then she got a bonus for a rank, and she got a pay setter bonus, sorry, plus those enrollments, and she was actually in profit. And that's a pretty exciting thing to be able to share with someone, is to say, like, if I could show you a way that a person in a very similar circumstance to you who was just struggling to get by, or whether it's in debt or whatever it is, didn't really have the room on the credit card, and maybe you know someone that did something else. They borrowed money from a friend, they borrowed money from their mom, they found a way to come up with the money, and they were able to make that back in their first 10 days. Would you be open to looking at how they did it, and would that be helpful for you? So yeah, when you're on the trainings, you hear all of those stories, and it's super, super helpful to have in your back pocket.
Really cool. Thanks, Naomi. We need to have a collection of these somewhere. And a good linking line to get there is, you can see down here, so after they've, you've question, you can say, okay, so can I ask, if you continued like this for, another 5 years, do you see anything changing? Or do you think you're still going to be in this situation? And most people will go, yeah, actually, nothing. If I don't change anything, if I don't change anything, nothing will change. So if I could show you, that's a good way to link into that if I could show you question. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, hello. Vicky said something else here. You could have said, what's your plan to achieve those goals by the end of the year? What will it take? If I could show you a way to get there faster without taking away from helping with your CrossFit, would that be helpful? Yeah, cool. All right, guys, that was awesome. That was a really solid hour. Thank you so much. I hope that was helpful and you got lots of value from that. You're all amazing. Thank you to our big superstars who stepped up to give it a go tonight. And don't forget to be fully committed this week. And we will see you on our training next Monday. Have a good night, guys. And don't forget to join that accountability group if you want to be in there. See you, Sam. All good. See you, Sarah.
See ya.
Yes, Andrea, we could put you in touch with Naomi to get that story written down for you. It's probably the best way, I reckon. See you guys. Bye, bye-bye. All good. See you. See you, Liz. I'll be at your place soon. We've got no hot water at our house. I need to go have a shower at Liz's house.
Thanks for joining us, Barry. Good to have you on here tonight. Sorry, I think we missed your welcome, but
sorry, Barry. We will welcome you next Monday.
No, I think we welcomed him a couple of times.
Last week.
You weren't on, yeah.
Okay.
Good to have you here.
Cool.
No problem. Bye. Oh, you're still sharing, by the way, Tiffany, which means I can't see
Oh,
anybody
sorry, you can
else's
only see my
window.
face. Sorry, I'm just like
I
jabbering
could see
away over
you,
here.
but I couldn't see other people
I had
too.
to
So
pin
wave
my
bye-bye.
video.
It's all right.
We can
There
wave
Hi.
now. Hi, Barry.
Nice to see you, Juan. Nice to hear your voice. There's a fella in this group as well as me.
Yes.
There's a few guys. They just hide.
Siani's listening. He's looking after kids as well.
Oh yeah.
Bye
Okay.
then.
See ya.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, ladies.
Cool. I wasn't sure if we needed to stay on and
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
Yeah, to have-
like next week or something.
Yeah, but Michelle's gone. Should
Oh,
I get her
she-
back on?
Yeah,
Shall we
maybe I'll
do-
text
yeah,
you.
Maybe.
Yeah, text her and see if
Yeah.
she wants to come back on.
Have you eaten, Vicky?
No.
Oh.
Eaten.
Well, it's because it's 6 o'clock my time, so it's kind of too early to eat beforehand.
Team Activate training, is that on now? Is that what-
No.
Yeah, it was on at 8. So I'm going to